So let's come to the top of our mat. We're going to use our wheel in our sun salutation. So bring your hands like prayer. Thumbs are going to press into the center of your wheel, grabbing the edges of your wheel. And just make sure, because your wheel may be heavy, mine is quite heavy, that you want to keep your wrist nice and healthy by not flexing or bending it in too much. You want to keep it neutral as much as possible, even as you're extending. So really listen to your wrist and don't put too much stress on it. It's coming to the top of the mat. Wheel to the heart. When you're ready, reach up, take it up. Maybe even back bending, but ground into your feet, lift and fold all the way down. Wheel to the floor if you can, maybe even your forehead to the wheel. Relax here for just a moment. If you're very flexible, you'll take the wheel even behind the skull, behind the head, and just a little deeper. Slowly release, hands onto the wheel, step the right toes back. Sink your right hip. From here, you roll the wheel out towards the right corner of your mat and maybe begin to roll it out, sink a little bit, just back and forth. Take another full breath in, and full breath out. Return, come back. You can take the wheel underneath your left thigh, sink, tuck your right toes and lift your right knee. Extend the arms. So you're just activating that right quad. So really ground and push into your right toes. Take another full breath in. Full breath out. Release, hands to the wheel. Take it back up from underneath you. Both hands back on the wheel. Step back to plank pose. Downward facing dog. Hands on the wheel. Relax your head. Let's take it to the other side. So step the right foot forward. Left knee down. You might stay here, sink, hands on the wheel, straighten your arms, lift your heart. Or if you want a little bit more, roll the wheel maybe towards the left corner of your mat. Listen to your body, just where the body needs today. Maybe rolling onto your forearms, holding steady. Come back. Let's take the wheel underneath your right thigh. And you can rest your right hip there. Keep your hips square, tuck your left toes, and pick up your left knee. Straighten that left leg and really energize that left quad, arms over the head. Hold steady here. Full breath in. Full breath out. Nice and slow. Take that wheel out from underneath. Both hands on the wheel again. Step back, plank pose. Down dog. Take it back. Roll the wheel to the back of your mat. Bring it behind your legs this time. Bend your knees a lot. Maybe you can grab the outside edge of your wheel, fold a little deeper. If you're very flexible, then the legs will be straight. Otherwise, keep a bend in the knees. Nice and slow. Let's come to a nice deep chair pose. So if you can, sit your bum towards your chair wheel. Sit back. Knees not past the toes. Hold steady here. Navel in. Nice and slow. Let's come to stand. Push into the feet. All the way out. Hands into prayer, thumbs to the heart. Pranamasana. Let's play with some standing postures to strengthen as well as help us kind of work on those stability muscles. So taking the wheel back to the top of the mat. And take one leg beside it and take the right toes onto the wheel, the right toes. From here, point your right toes, take it back, roll back, extend the leg, come back, sole the foot. So just practicing that first, point the toes, roll the foot back on the wheel, and then take it back forward. And let's do it again. Back and forward. And you're welcome to stay doing that. Otherwise, we're going to go a little deeper. So imagine the left leg is in a chair pose now. So sit back in a chair pose. Maybe the hands come into prayer, or the fingertips kind of press towards one another so you can activate your core. From here, push, point the toes back, and see if you can, like left leg in chair, slowly bring the right thigh, maybe the right toes back to that crescent lunge here. And see if you come back nice and slow. Left leg's in chair, nice and slow, roll back, come back. Let's go back again. Take it back. Crescent lunge. Come back. Standing. Let's do it one more time. Take it back. Crescent. And we hold. Maybe the right toes. So if you can, right toes to the floor. The wheel is onto your upper right thigh. Hold steady. Option, fingertips down for a lizard pose. You might walk your left toes out to the left a little bit. And maybe you want to work on opening or massaging your right quad and just begin to flex your right foot, bend your right knee. This will be quite intense, so really listen to your body. Nice and slow, let's return. Wiggle that left foot back towards the middle of your mat. If you walked it out, come back. Again, see if you can come back. So squeeze the legs together, return. Come back. Let's switch sides. Coming to the other side. So wheel in the front. Stepping your left foot on the wheel this time. Sit your right leg into a chair pose. Sit back, bum back. So the left leg is super light. And when you're ready, point your toes, come into the top of the left foot. Roll back. Maybe the left toes ground like you're doing your crescent lunge. Now we return. Come back. Lean forward. Press into the right heel. Return, come back. Let's do it 2 more times. Take it back. Maybe just hover the left toes. Take it back forward. Again, take it back. And back up. This last one we're going to stay. So take it back. And we stay. Ground your left toes. So just as you need, you want it to be not on your knee joint, but onto the bottom part of your thigh and above your knee. If you want to go to lizard, walk the right leg out. Fingertips underneath your shoulders. Hold steady here. Send your heart forward. Option to stay, or again, you can work towards leaning forward a little bit. So taking the weight off that left leg, and then eventually maybe bending that left knee. And roll the ankle a little bit. So you might feel different sensations when you point and when you flex your foot. Can't play with that. Return. Wiggle that right leg back towards the middle of your mat. Ground through that right heel and slowly rise back up. And release. Let's give a little body twist, and then we will try to do a little back bending with this. So from here, sitting onto your wheel, goddess pose, legs wide. From here, right hand's gonna push inner right knee, drop the right shoulder, look over your left shoulder. Inhale back to center. Exhale, left hand's gonna push into your inner left knee, look over the right shoulder, drop that left shoulder. Come back up. Let's do one last time. Press into the right knee, let your right shoulder come down. Return. Last one, left shoulder down. Twist, look over your right. Come back. Now ground like goddess pose. Kali Mudra, interlace the fingers, step your index fingers over your head. Stay. Draw the navel in. You might stay or push down. So really root yourself. And then just lift off the wheel and hold here for 5. Release tension in the jaw for 2. Get a little deeper for 3. Keep focusing on your breath for 4. One more full breath in. Press into the feet, come back up. Turn the toes forward, release the hands, step the feet together, shake it out. moving into our back bends or rolling onto the wheel. So from here, come onto your mat. The first one, we're going to take the wheel towards our lower back. So thumbs inside the wheel, push into the wheel so you can lift your bum off the floor and rest your lower back there. And from here, hands might be onto the floor and just roll here. Let's take a few rolls. If there's a lot of tension in the neck, you can cradle the head and roll here, just focusing on the lower back. Feet are grounded. And come back, bum to the floor. So moving a little deeper, remember you could always stay at any point in one of the places where you might feel it more in your body. This time we're going to take it a little bit higher. So the bum stays on the floor. And I'm going to take it up towards the middle back. And from here, again, option to cradle or fingertips again along to the floor. Begin to rock. This time, maybe you can even tap your head to the floor and take it back down. And again, maybe you can tap the head, straightening the legs, coming back. 2 more. Straighten the legs. Return. Last one. Coming up. Return. So this time we're going to take our bum even farther forward and just rest the upper back and the neck onto the mat. Not the mat, the wheel. And relax your arms to the side or on your belly. Pause. So option, you might stay here today or grab the wheel, hands inside the wheel, thumbs towards the edges of the wheel, elbows hugging in towards one another. Keep holding the wheel and start to straighten your legs. And this time, maybe you can tap your elbows to the floor and tap and bring it back. And again, tap. And this time your head is resting on the wheel and take it back. Let's do 2 more. And return. And again, come back. And this time, maybe we stay with the elbows on the floor. And of course, if you're more flexible and the elbows are to the floor, push into the elbows, ground into your feet. So walk the feet in a little bit closer, still parallel. And then lift your back off the mat. Send your chest between your arms. Hold. Wherever you are, hold steady there for 3, for 2, and 1. Lower back down. Take your time, rolling the bum back. You might keep the head on the wheel for a moment. Just allow the changes to come back, the body to adapt, and then come back to a seated position. Okay, so option, repeat. Or we're going to move into a shoulder stand practice today, a supported shoulder stand. So bringing the wheel, bum is still on the floor. Take the wheel as close as you can towards your lower back. Press into the wheel with your fingers so they don't roll the wheel away. And you're going to help ground the wheel with your hand as you start to roll back. And from there, you're going to find a place where the back of the head can touch the floor. Walk the feet in. Fingers are tenting by your head. So you can slide the shoulders. If you have a ponytail, it's going to be a little bit harder. Onto the mat. Once the shoulders are there, grab the wheel. And slowly, one leg at a time, you can take the legs up. You can stay here. Extend the legs. If you know full shoulder stand, you can take full shoulder stand. But this one's a nice supported shoulder stand. Hold steady. So don't let go of the wheel, it might slide away from you. So like you usually do in shoulder stand, push into the outer edges of your arms. Deep breath, focus on the space between the eyebrows. Nice and slowly plow pose. So keep hold of the wheel and slowly lower your legs down. Maybe the knees bent and you can rest your knees to your forehead, or you can stretch your toes to the floor. And if you want, you can even take the wheel a little bit further in. Wiggle it in so the hips are even stacked further beyond and above your shoulders. Pausing here. Exiting the pose, bend your knees. Take the heels to the bum. Send your hips back to the wheel. And maybe one leg at a time. Reach for the floor. Fingertips can come back to the head. Tense your fingers. Fingers are pointing away from you. Push down. And slowly come back. Roll the bum down. Rest your head on the wheel for a fish pose. You might stay here. Or you can even extend the legs all the way. Pause. Find your breath. Go within. So for today's practice, you can stay here for as long as you like. But if you're ready, coming onto your back for Shavasana, you can use your wheel if you'd like to ground yourself. Grounding the hips, wherever it might be. If it doesn't serve you, then just bring it to the side. And take a moment just to check in with the body. See if you've gained a little bit more space, a little bit more stillness and peacefulness into the body and into the mind. And I thank you for sharing your time with me. See you again in the next class.